In this lesson video, we will continue modeling our robot. Now, we will focus on the hand and the claws. For the hand, we will start with a sphere. So, Shift A and choose UV sphere. For this sphere, we want to have 20 for the segments and 20 for the rings. Move the sphere so it is aligned with the arm position. Next, we need to rotate this in the x-axis for 90 degrees. We'll just do this in the object mode. For fixing the position and the scale of it, let's look at the volume sketch object. For the position, let's move this forward. For the scale, let's make this bigger to about this size. Now we can hide the volume sketch object again. Next, let's focus on making the hand from the sphere. But I think we can make this a little bit bigger. Before we edit this object, because we did scaling and rotation in the object mode, let's apply the scale first, and then apply the rotation. Next, go to the edit mode. We want to make this area thicker. We can do that by pressing Ctrl R and add a loop cut here, near this existing edge loop. Next, select this vertex at the back pole. Then press Ctrl plus symbol on the numpad to grow the selection until we get to the location of the new edge loop. Go to face mode. Press Alt S to fatten the faces. Next, we want to flatten the faces from this area and then extrude it. We don't need to do edge split in this edge loop. We can just use the F shortcut. Let me just show you. Go to the edit mode. We already have this selection. Press Ctrl minus symbol to shrink the selection. After we have a selection like this, press F. Notice what just happened. Blender just replaced those selected mesh elements with a large n-gon face. Next, extrude this until about this far. Go back to object mode. Move this backward. I think we need to see the volume sketch reference again. Move it to about this position. For the back face, I think we need to move this forward a bit and make it bigger so the arm mesh can fit in. After you are done, you can select these edge loops and apply the mesh sharp attribute to them. For the front area, we want to flatten this out also, so select this vertex and then Ctrl plus symbol to grow the selection. Then press F, go to the edge mode, select this edge also, and then mark sharp. Change the smoothing type, and then turn on the auto smooth option also as usual. Next, we want to create the claws. First, we need to change the cursor location to the center of the hand. So Shift S, cursor to selected. Then create a cube object. Move it and scale it so it is positioned at the base of the top claw. Go to the edit mode and select the top face. Rotate this a bit so it is facing the next finger segment. Then, we are going to do a series of point-to-point modeling, but on a face. So, hold Ctrl and then right-click here. Then here. And finally here. Scale this down. Select this edge loop and make it slightly bigger. Adjust the position so that from the side view, we have a small size edge loop at the base to a bigger size at the center of the finger. Then, at each of the joints, we want to add edge bevel. So select the edge loops. Basically, we want to create an illusion that they are separated parts. Ctrl B to bevel them. Make it 2 segments each, like so. Then select the center edge loops. Press Alt S to shrink them. Next, although in the side view this bottom part is smaller, I think it should be wider in the X direction. So scale this on the X axis. And also the bottom part. We can select these vertices, then scale them on the X axis also. This will make the claw looks sturdier. Next, we need to create the round joints or the hinges. Let's hide the volume sketch object. Create a cylinder. Make the side vertices to 10. Rotate it 90 degrees on the y-axis. Adjust the position and the scale also. Basically, we want to make it small but still cover the bottom area and the top area. Let's apply the rotation. Scale it to the side a bit. Go to Edit mode. Create 2 edge loops. Make this a bit wider by scaling them on the x-axis. Next, select these 2 edge loops. We want to shrink them inward, so we need to bevel them first. Make sure we have one edge loop at the center that we can shrink. Then select those center edges, Alt S to shrink them. Next, select these edge loops. And then mark sharp. Let's add some details on the side face. Extrude it. And then scale it down. I think this is enough. For the left part, we can just use the mirror modifier. Now the left part is fixed. We can then set the shading to smooth. Turn on the auto smooth and set this to 50 degrees. I'm speeding up the video now, as basically, I just duplicate the hinge and do scaling and repositioning, things that you should already know by now. Next, we want to spin duplicate these claw meshes. To do that, first, we can join them to the main hand object. Okay, now go to the edit mode, press A twice to deselect all, move the mouse here and press L, then here, L also, until we have all of the claw meshes selected. Activate the spin tool. Make sure it is set to the y-axis. Drag this handle. Make sure we use the duplicate mode. Set the steps to 3. And we want to have a full circle. Now we have 3 claws. Well, 4 actually, as the first and the last one are at the exact same location. To fix this, let me change this first to the selection tool, just to be safe. I don't want the spin handles to be floating around in the viewport. Select all of the vertices, press Alt M, and choose by distance. Now there shouldn't be any more double vertices. Next, to make the left hand, we can just add a mirror modifier. Then use the upper torso object as the mirror plane. Now we have 2 symmetrical hands. The claws look good, but I think the base hand is too small. just my personal taste. So let's fix this real quick. Go to edit mode, deselect all, and then press L. Then S to scale it up. Then select this face and make it smaller. The hands look great now. But the arm, I think it will be better if it bends towards this direction just a tiny bit. So select the arm curve object, press tab to go to the edit mode, select this vertex, and just move this to this location. I'm speeding up the video now as mostly I'm just adjusting some vertices location. At this stage, you can see that we need more arm piece here. So go back to object mode and select the arm mesh object, open the array modifier, and increase the array count to 13. Okay guys, basically we are done now. I don't see anything that needs more tweaking. For the last step, let's rename our hand object to hand. Next, we will create the thigh part of the robot.